Hello, my fellow humans. Welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box below. You can email me for a personal reading, and you can even join as a membership here on the channel, which I would love to see. But if not, thank you so much for your continued support. Today we are doing a healing message. We're going to find out what that is, and I'm choosing to use these Alchemina Oracles by Sabina Espinay. And these are very beautiful cards. I use them on a daily dice. They're brand new. The story of getting them is kind of a cute story. It was just an accidental purchase. And as we know in the spiritual community, there is no accidents. There's only synchronicities. So it was very synchronistic that it came to me when it did. And I'm really glad to be able to use it today on this reading. So let's go ahead and hop to our prayer, and we will get this message underway. And I have a candle outside of the frame right here, which is why you cannot see it, but I need to burn the rest of what's inside of it, so it is off frame. All right, and while this is lighting up, there are a few more changes that are being made to the channel. I am going through it after having been sick and recovering from that. I am going through a lot of spiritual awakening myself, but don't worry, I'm still going to get you out your readings. They just might not be the pick of cards as frequent as they were before, but I will make sure you get your daily readings as well, okay? So let's get to this. My beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. We're asking for a message of healing, a message that reaches our hearts and helps us to pick ourselves up from where we have been and carry on, and to carry on in a way that continues to give us courage, strength, and clarity, and to help us build these solid foundations upon which we can rise up again and again. Today I ask that you bring these messages of the heart through clearly in a way that helps us to heal from past situations and circumstances, to heal from past relationships, to heal from past people. Whatever it is that has been weighing us down, whatever it is that's been an anchor in our lives, help us to see it clearly in the ways that only you know how, and help us to release it and hold our hands and our hearts as we release this and surrender it unto you, so that you can transmute it into something for the journey of highest light and love. May you surround us in protection. May you surround us in love. May you always be with us as we carry on this journey. As these words are spoken unto this space and among this tribe, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you so much. So let me go ahead and get this set up over there. Okay, let me give these a quick souffle. I almost didn't come on today. I've been really going through it. I don't think I'm the only one. Like, energetically, the end of the year is very difficult for me. I've had a lot of deaths in my family around this time, and a lot of anniversaries, right? And on top of that, just this year's been especially difficult for me. And Mercury went direct, and all of a sudden everything changed in my life. Like, it was just such a palpable shift. And so, yeah, I know I'm not the only one who's going through it. I know I'm not the only one who's dealing with it, but just sharing that with you so that those of you that might feel like you're the only ones that are experiencing this crazy shift, no, definitely not. You are not alone, okay? So we're in this together. We'll make it out together, and we'll all be stronger together, all right? So, all right. Source, what El Camino Oracle card will help us better understand the healing message for pile number 1? A healing message for pile number 1. Thank you. Wow. All right. And source, for pile number 2, which El Camino Oracle card will help us better understand the healing message for pile number 2? A healing message for pile number 2. Thank you. Almost don't have enough room for these. They're so wide. All right. And source, for pile number 3, which El Camino Oracle card will help us better understand the healing message for pile number 3? The healing message for pile number 3, source. The healing message for pile number 3. Okay, they keep telling me it's that one. All right. So, overall message on the bottom, we have La Luz, or the light. And this is interesting because it's giving me, it's like shining a light on that which was once hidden and grounding ourselves in that light and allowing ourselves to be led by that internal flame that burns bright within all of us. It's also some sort of talisman here. So there might be some sort of talisman or a particular stone or gemstone that you can carry with you that will help keep you grounded and drawing back to the light within. Wow, that was a very deep message already. Okay, so let me make sure got these all set up here. All right. Okay, so for pile number 1, we have this beautiful piece of red jasper. Let me turn on the overhead. Okay. For pile number 2, we have this beautiful piece of rose quartz. Okay. And for pile number 3, we have this beautiful piece of zebra jasper. Okay. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And whichever pile you're drawn to, that should be the pile for you. And I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful red jasper, or if you were drawn to this card during this shuffle, this is going to be your healing message. First, I do want to say thank you to anyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody that's new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what your healing message is today, pile 1. So source, for pile number 1, what is the healing message that you have for them? Source, what is the healing message that you have for pile number 1 today? What is the healing message you have for pile number 1? What would you like them to know today, source? All right. So we've got the 10th house, Gemini energy, and we've got Neptune. So it feels like, wow, if I could talk. Got it. All of a sudden, my throat felt like someone was tapping on it. That was a weird feeling. Almost like you're not being honest with yourself, or you're not speaking some sort of truth that you have here, okay? When it comes to your job, your career, your business, your place of like where you get your finances from, okay? This could also be your sole purpose and the achievements that you have in your life. There's some sort of an illusion here that has been playing a part. And I do feel like you've been working very hard, and it's frustrating, right? It's just like I've been giving everything that I have. I've been doing everything possible. I've adapted to new ways of showing up. I have ensured that I know the information that I need. And with Neptune here, we see that there's some aspect that's been hidden, that's been playing a part on your journey, that's been keeping you from embracing and embodying your truth, that's been keeping you from embracing your true authentic self when it comes to expressing yourself out in the world. And there's no reason to be upset about that, right? Like, this is not one of those messages like, get your stuff together and get with it and show yourself to people. It's not at all what Source is saying, right? Like, this is that information of just saying, like, there's a part of you that might still fear accepting you because of being ostracized or ridiculed or judged or cast aside, exiled, right? Like, there's a part of you that's still like, I know this is who I am and I know this is what's true to me, but every time I show this part of myself, it feels like something like XYZ happens. And that's what this feels like. And there's a lot going on here, and there could be a lot of gossip about you as well on the flip side, especially with the Gemini energy here. You know, it's showing this, it's like that gossip could absolutely get back around to you. Like, it's like if you're at work and you walk by and it's everybody's talking, and as soon as you walk by, everybody goes silent, and it's like, what the heck? Like, if y'all got a problem with me, just tell me to my face. But you know they won't, because they're not brave enough or courageous enough to do that, because it's easier to talk about people behind their back than it is to confront people. And that's just a reality that we live in, unfortunately, Pile One. And I wish it wasn't like that. I wish that people were brave enough to come forward and say, hey, like, I've got this problem with you. But chances are, if that's what they're doing, the problem that they have with you has nothing to do with you. Actually, it has to do with themselves. But what I love, the fact that Neptune came up, that even though it is something that is an illusion, it's also showing that there is deep spiritual healing that's happening. And so maybe at one point that was all you could focus on, was what people were saying about you. And that could be what has been keeping you from embracing and embodying your true self, because of that focus on others. And it's like, every time I really let myself shine, like, it just kicks off a whole nother season of, let's gossip about pile number one. And it's like, you know, we're like 10 seasons in and it's just really old, right? So we're saying to let that go. And that's exactly what Source is saying. Like, don't focus on that anymore. Don't focus on what other people are saying about you. Don't even focus on what other people are thinking about you. Don't let that bother you, because the only thing that matters is what you think of yourself. And it's like, the more energy you put outside on others, the less energy you have to focus on yourself and where you're going with your own journey and what you're doing with yourself. And it's just a process here. You've put in a lot of work and dedication, but it also shows to stand wherever this is playing a part in your life. It is also a huge block for you as well. And so as you've adapted and moved and, you know, gone with the flow, you've learned new creative ways to integrate those modalities and those lessons that you've learned. And Source is saying to keep doing that, because you're doing a good job. There is healing here. There's a deep understanding. There's a purging of the subconscious. There's a seeing of the illusions. But right now there is something that's just outside of your vision of clarity. Let's get some cards on it and see what comes through. Okay. Source, what is the healing message for pile number one? Now, today I'm going to use my Tarot Marseille, which is what I usually read with. I'm going to use my small deck, and then I'm actually going to get some clarifiers from the Osho Zen. So we're going to kind of use the Osho Zen as the advice on the healing, but I want to find out what the situation is with the Tarot Marseille. So we're going to see what comes through with the Tarot Marseille. It could be explaining the situation a little bit further in depth, okay? But I'm going to let Source kind of take control here, and I'm not going to really direct it, because I want Source to bring through the messages that Source wants for you, okay? So Source, what is the healing message for pile number one? Source, what is the healing message for pile number 1? Yeah, feeling of not being good enough. Maybe having an immature view on life because of a wound that happened when you were really young. Okay. Yeah, family wound. Okay, I see. All right, so Source, what is the healing message for pile number 1? What would you like to tell them today? Yeah, broken heart. What would you like to tell pile number 1 today? Source, the healing message for pile number 1. Thank you. All right, Source, what is the healing message that you have for pile number 1 today? What would you like to tell them? Okay, there we go. Interesting. On the bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Wands in the reverse. And in the big deck, this is actually in the upright, but here we have it in the reverse with the 7 of Wands in the reverse. So, isn't this interesting? We're talking about work, but we see here with the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Wands that it's actually something that has happened because of a love relationship in your life. And it's romantic. They're showing it's romantic. It's like getting involved over and over again with people, wanting to have this romantic connection, but always feeling like everything just falls apart. And it's mirroring a family situation where it's like you were forced into a situation to take care of family members. You were forced into a situation to be the rock in your family. And because you weren't in a position where you could actually emotionally handle that, right? Like when you're a child, you're not emotionally capable of handling that, but sometimes it doesn't stop people from putting us in those situations. And so it's like having to deal with that. It created a wound early on, and then that wound just kind of festered and festered, and it continued in these situations that haven't panned out for you. And it's like you poured yourself into work, right? And you wanted things to work out. Wow, with the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Yeah. You wanted things to work out for you when it came to the physical side of things, like, you know, creating financial stability, creating something that you could turn to and put all your passion into and put all your effort into and put all action into. And it still feels like it's just not working out the way that you want to. And Sources, it is showing here like you've had a broken heart. Like you have the 2 of Cups and the Ace of Cups in the reverse here. It's talking about deep betrayal, emotional betrayal. Like you can't get beyond this. This is deep emotional betrayal by someone who you thought would never do these things to you. Or maybe there was just not paying attention to the red flags. And then when it happened, it still took you by surprise. And there's no reason to blame yourself for that, right? We have to forgive ourselves for being in situations that have happened like this because we were doing what we thought was best at that time. And even though it hurt, and even though it left us with a lot of suffering, it also taught us what we don't want, when at one point we thought we wanted that, right? But now we see that's definitely not what I want. I want something that's stable. I want something that's secure. And so with the dice here, there's this energy. It's like the anchor actually comes from this broken heart, because it's like trying to supplement in your work and what you're doing for work, this broken heart that you've had. This is so heartbreaking right now. Like I just feel this so heavy in my chest, and I feel like I really want to cry right now because it just feels so heavy. It's like you didn't deserve this, pile 1, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. And, you know, you didn't deserve to be betrayed by someone in this way. It's hard to breathe. Maybe some anxiety attacks connected to this. Let me ground a little bit. Come back down. Whew. Okay. And it's showing here that this created a massive shift and a massive change in your life that, for better or for worse, there was no getting around it. It was something that had to happen. It was something that came through regardless, because of this broken heart, because of this betrayal, because of this emotional uprooting in your life. And so we see that the anchor has to do with this specifically, like this is the situation and the healing is coming from this as well. But let's see, it's very clear because this is a karmic situation by its nature. This is you clearing out South Node energy, and sometimes it's really difficult to accept. It's like, why did I have to go through something that's so heavy and something that's so awful? And people are just telling me it's karmic, it's karmic, it's karmic. But it's like, what on earth did I do in any point of my life, this life or the past life, that warranted me going through this? And that's not what Source is trying to do for you. It's like, it's not about something you did. It's about clearing out some sort of emotional, energetic attachment that we have internally to ourselves, or that we have where we're ignoring ourselves, or where we're not seeing the beauty of ourselves, or where we're not seeing the truth of our identity, our internal selves. And that's when we talk about karma, it has more to do with us coming back to our soul than what actions we took in this life or past life, right? So we're not looking at karma as what goes around comes around, because it's so much more than that. There's a deeper meaning to it than that. And so when you've experienced something that's like this deep betrayal, it's actually a very, very harsh mirror back into ourselves, like how we're betraying ourselves, or how we're maybe not being honest with ourselves, or how we're maybe not putting ourselves first, or we're being people pleasers and we're putting everybody else first and thinking that we don't deserve to have the spotlight in our own lives. And that seems harsh too, but when you stop and think about it for a little bit and you ask your shadow self, what was it that you were trying to teach me when I went through this? And what part of you was so attracted to this? And listen and let the answer come to you. Like, don't expect it right away. It might come right away, but it might not. But when you ask those questions, something will come. And don't question that. You know, if it's like, well, because we always took care of our parents and we just got used to being parentified as kids, or you know what, it's because Aunt Joe, she never called us that one time and she made that promise to us and we always had a broken promise, and so it just seems like that's how all life was broken promises. Whatever the answer is, don't question that. Okay, so let's see. Source, what is the healing message here? Okay. Compromise, the Six of Coins. Abundance, the King of Coins. Oh, yep, here we go. Source, what is the healing message here? Thank you. Three of Swords, isolation. And on the bottom, we have the Three of Coins with guidance. Okay, 333 is a very powerful number for you here. This is very intense. Like, let's just stop and look at this. The change is what hurt. Crying tears of amber. I don't know why I just heard that, but I just heard that. Crying tears of amber. These tears, they look like ambers. But I just heard that. It's like this broken energy. It's like, I'd rather just isolate myself because change is uncomfortable. And this is creating a situation where your fragmented soul continues to stay fragmented because you're not believing that you deserve better things. And, you know, it's like, maybe you do believe that, but a part of you is resonant with, I'm always going to be in this isolation. I'm always going to be disconnected because no one's going to see me for me, right? All they see is this shiny, bright, beautiful face that I put on every day with a smile. They don't see how much it hurts behind closed doors or how much it hurts behind the scene. And so the healing message here is finding the courage to put yourself out there again, right? And away from work. Like, I feel like this is the main thing here, is away from work, like going somewhere that's outside of your work and putting yourself out there and finding that equal give and take, that compromise where someone has your back. Like they're touching pinkies here, and it makes me think of a pinky promise, right? What was I talking about? Like, oh, Aunt Joe, like she broke her promise to me, and we have the 6 of coins here and this thought that, oh, it's a pinky promise. Like finding someone who's just going to promise to stand beside you, not in front of you, not behind you, not above you, not below you, but beside you along the journey, and share in that compromise. Like, we're both going to have this equal give and take. If I have to compromise, we'll find a way. If you have to compromise, we'll find a way. But it's not all about one person taking on that responsibility, right? And recognizing that the abundance has come, right? With the King of Coins here, it's like recognizing that the abundance has come from embracing both the shadow and the light within. That there is a beauty and a dance that continues for all of eternity between those two, right? We're in a realm where darkness runs rampant, but the beautiful part about that is that we're also in a realm where the light runs rampant as well. And so when we begin to embrace both aspects of that, and within ourselves and outside of ourselves, as I was saying, talking to your shadow self here, getting answers from your shadow self, and not trying to stuff that back away. Like, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, if your shadow self triggers you, that speaks volumes, right? Even though it's difficult, that's something that we have to look at. It's like, okay, if my shadow self is triggering me because I don't want to resonate with that, but it's trying to tell me that I do at some part of myself resonate with this, right? Don't try to turn that part of you away, because it's exactly what you want, is to be accepted by others, but you have to accept yourself first. And so if your shadow self tells you something that feels a little icky and gross and sticky, have the patience with yourself to sit with that. And that's where this real growth begins. And that's where this groundedness begins. And I feel like it would really serve you well, pile number 1, for you to ground yourself every day in some kind of practice. That could be meditation, that could be yoga, it could be walking, it could be sitting in nature, it could be hugging a tree, it could be growing plants, it could be drinking water. Whatever it is, bring yourself back down to this realm, because sometimes I have this feeling here. I feel like sometimes what happens is that you spend so much time up in the ethers that your mind ends up running wild, and it's like feeling like I'm in my intuition, but you're actually in the emotional ego, in the mind, stuck in the mind space, and mistaking parts of the mind for intuitive notions. And not actually stepping back and saying, okay, hold on. Am I losing touch with myself? Am I losing touch with my reality? And that's where I feel like this isolation here with the 3 of Swords, which in the Tarot Marseille, the 3 of Swords talks about guidance, right? Guidance. Oh, look at this. And we have the 8 of Cups underneath that. We have letting go. And the 8 of Cups in the Tarot Marseille is the family card. So we see it's something that's been passed on with these little drops, right? It's something that's been passed on, and it's continued to grow. And unfortunately, you're the one that it grew the most with, because it you know, my mom always used to tell me, and I'm going to curse, and I never curse, but I'm going to curse. So excuse me, you can definitely skip over this. But my mom always said growing up, shit rolls downhill. And y'all know I don't curse on my channel, but that's what I just heard right now when I saw this. Okay, and I'm only going to say it once. We don't need to repeat it, but it's true. It's true, right? Like, everything rolled downhill. And unfortunately, the thing at the bottom, whoever that is, catches that. And so we see here, it's like with the 3 of Swords in the Tarot Marseille talking about getting divine intervention, but then you have the 3 of Coins here from the Osho talking about guidance, which is getting that divine intervention as well. Like your angels, your guides, your ancestors are trying to guide you to letting go, right? And letting go is far easier said than done. Absolutely. But that's why it's so important to sit with yourself. And I think the King of Coins is very, very clear here about he's by himself in nature. with this lotus flower can't grow unless it goes through the mud and the muck, right? And this feels like some sort of guidance here too, like some sort of fairy on his shoulder, listening to what he's receiving, okay? And listening with an open heart and knowing that whatever comes through is something that we can sit with, because that's where we gain this knowledge. It's a very deep knowledge, okay? It's self-knowledge, and self-knowledge is the hardest knowledge to gain because it means we have to face ourselves, the part of ourselves that we're not overly friendly with, right? But with that comes such clarity and beauty as well. So let's see what comes through with the oracle here. We've got Uranus on the bottom, radically change. Yeah. So the healing comes from changing how we've been doing things. And how have we been doing things? And I feel like that's just where your focus is. I feel like you've had a lot of focus on this past event. You've had a lot of focus on this past person, on this past circumstance, this past situationship. And, you know, of course, that makes total sense because it was an awful situation. So there's no need to sit here and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Like, no, you're just being human. Okay, like that's just something that we do. We focus on the past because that's all we've been taught to do. So don't beat yourself up for that, but just become aware. When you become aware, like, oh, I'm thinking about the past again, like I can avert my attention. I can choose what thoughts to think and choose to think about something else. We have Meerkat. Look, get support from a trusted group of like-minded friends. There you go. So find a support group. Find a group that gets you. Find people who understand you. Right? There's plenty of ways to do that. You can get on the Facebook community tab. You can go to BetterHelp. You can go online and find support groups, you know, chats, forums, anything like that. Find something where you can just talk with other people who are going through something similar. Is getting it off of your chest, right? And that's what I was saying, like chest, that anxiety, you might have anxiety attacks, and that's partially from this betrayal that you experienced. When you finally are able to get that off your chest, I feel like those anxiety attacks will probably diminish for good. Okay? Like we have number 42 here with happiness and dolphin. Okay, trying to find that balance again. It breaks down into 6, and 6 is a number of resolution, solution, seeing yourself through the eyes of the divine, giving yourself unconditional love, right? But finding that solution that's going to bring happiness once again into your life. And happiness is, it's cultivated from inside. It's something that we cultivate within. It's not something that's permanent. It's just something we cultivate that we can continue to return to with practice. So remember, it's a practice. We're not trying to get perfect at this. We're just trying to practice it. And with practice, we'll become better at it. So we have 49 here with rabbit spirit flying out. And it says, now is a lucky time. Okay, so focusing on this now. Focusing on this awareness, not even healing. Like, I know this is a message of healing, but it's like, this is more about focusing on your awareness. Where is your mind taking you? And how far down that rabbit hole do you let it go before you say enough is enough? Or do you get so caught up in it that before you know it, you're in panic and you're in a state of worry and you're in a state of fear because it's just carried you all the way to the bottom? And understanding that about yourself, because when you understand that about yourself, that's when healing begins, right? Take time out. Yeah. Healing of the heart. This is a heart message coming through for you. Okay. And it's interesting with 9 here. It's like bringing something to a close here, bringing something to the end of its cycle. And so it's just a process for you. And I want you to know, no one in the spiritual realm is mad at you. No one is upset with you. In fact, everybody here that's giving me this message is very encouraging, and they're trying to help you to the best of their ability. But we have to also recognize that the spiritual realm, while they'll interfere in certain things, they will not interfere in our journey when it comes to our free will, right? So like, they may save our life because it's not our time yet, but they're not going to come in when you're having all these negative thoughts and be like, hey, negative thoughts be gone. because that goes against our free will. And so a simple thing to do every day in the morning and throughout the day is just ask your angels and guides to come in and help redirect you back towards your path of positivity and back towards your path of highest good, and give them permission to help you. Right? They're just standing by waiting for you to say, I allow you to come in and help me. Please help me. And they're going to come in right away. They're going to give you signs and synchronicities right away. Right? They're on standby for you specifically, pile one. So we have the whale with wisdom here and trusting the great unknown. Right? Whales, they can dive pretty deep. You have this lady up here with the 3 balloons, trusting that everything is happening with a purpose and finding that peace of mind as well. Okay, with wisdom here, it's very profound. Didn't I say that, like, self-awareness is where deep wisdom comes from? I believe I did say that at one point. Let's get a couple of these, the answer oracles. Speeding. Okay, what else would you like to say, Source? What's the healing message for pile number 1? What's the healing message for pile number 1? Okay, on the bottom we have fire, carnival, celebration, and ceremony. This also feels like a burning away of. Okay. So we have speeding, surge, flow, addiction. Okay, so getting to the end as fast as you can. That's that feeling of like I'm rushing and rushing and rushing and hoping that things are going to work out for the best. Source is saying it's time to slow down. Okay, we've got fusion, align, openness, harmony, and collaboration, right? It's okay to put yourself out there now. You will find people who are like-minded that will be willing to compromise with you, that will be willing to work with you on this part of your journey, to stay open to that. With destiny, with responsibility, road, and shackles. Let yourself out of this cage that you've been put in for so long. The door is already open. You just need to step out. We have generous, give with an open heart, offer without expectation, and unconditional love. Always stay your generous, beautiful self. And then we have gratitude with appreciate, thank you, and cherish. And always be grateful for the good things that are currently in your life. Right? Gratitude helps us stay in a very high vibrational state. And staying in that high vibrational state will keep us always in a constant state of love, which helps us to let ourselves free from these things that are holding us back. So we've got the angel number 404 flying out with mind energy. I can't make this stuff up. Focus, determination, preparation, mental strength, clarity, resolve, and future readiness. Prepare your mind for future challenges. Mental strength and focus will help you overcome obstacles with determination and hard work. What mental habits do I need to strengthen in order to be fully prepared for future challenges? Set aside time each day for mindfulness or mental exercises that can improve your focus and clarity. Visualize yourself successfully overcoming future obstacles. So 444 is another powerful number for you as well. It's all about strength, structure, and stability. Like we have 88 on the bottom with time to listen to your gut, intuition, trust, inner voice, guidance again, positivity, and alignment. When you are positively motivated, your goals and dreams will unfold as they should. Let your inner voice be your primary guide on this journey. In what areas of my life am I not listening to my gut, and how can I better align with my inner voice? Take a moment to meditate or reflect on a current decision you are facing and listen carefully to your inner guidance to determine the best course of action. And then 4 and 4 is 8. So we also have 888, and 8 is the karmic number, but it's also a number of abundance once we get through our karmic cycles, right? And it's interesting because this is what I was saying earlier, that sometimes you might you're not grounded enough to really bring down that intuitive knowing, and you get stuck in the mind chatter and you're like, oh, this is my intuition. This is my intuition. And before too long, it gets you carried away and it takes you off down this rabbit hole. And so they're just saying, come back to that place of listening to your gut. Let yourself sink into your intuition. Let's find out what the shadow aspect of this reading is for pile number 1, Source. What is the shadow aspect of this reading? Okay, I'm going to get 2 of these cards because I feel like there wants to be 2 out. Yep, complicated. Lots of twists and turns, a knotty situation, and precarious. Yeah, driving too fast on a wet road. You know, you don't want to hydroplane. You want to go out of control. So there's a lot of twists and turns that are coming up in regards to this situation. And they're saying, like, it's okay. You've survived the worst part of it. And now it's all about dealing with the traps that your mind has set for you, okay? We have late bloomer, age gapper, immature, attitude, out of sync, needs more time. So this is also giving me energy of like worrying that you're not far enough along. Like this feeling of like, I should be further than I am. Like, why am I not here? And they're saying like, there's no time limit for your journey. It's unfolding exactly as it needs to unfold. And the more you trust that, the easier it will be for you. We have Aquarius energy here with originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. I also heard Aquarius in the 4th house, Aquarius in the 6th house, and Aquarius in the 12th house energies coming through here, okay? Coming back to that goofy place that makes you feel good. We have cardinal energy. The polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasures are out of balance. So do whatever is necessary to bring them back into equilibrium. Yeah, so there's a lot of unbalanced energy coming in right now. And the more you ground yourself, the more you do things that will bring you back into a space of groundedness, the easier you'll be able to fluidly flow through life. And then we've got Will with Tiger. This is a very powerful message. And especially if you're a woman, okay? Even if you're a man, but this is definitely with this card, it's just, especially if you're a woman, it's saying it's okay to exert your power of will. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say not right now. It's okay to say yes to yourself. Don't be afraid to be seen right now, right? Exert your power of will. Be fierce, not rude, but be fierce. Turtle, patience, and have patience with the journey. Just be along for the ride. Like, just go with the flow. We're not in any rush to get anywhere. Like, what's that song? I keep hearing it right now. I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, rushing till life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. That's what it feels like. It's like you're in a rush, but why? Like, why am I in a rush? And I feel like you've even asked yourself that too. Like, why am I in a rush? Like, what is making me rush? And we have to understand, like, time limits that we give ourselves. No one gives those to us. Like, it doesn't matter if your whole family thinks that you should be married by 22 with 3 kids already or whatever. Like, we're the ones who believe in those time limits, right? So time limits are self-imposed. And really right now, your job is to be like the clock. Just keep going. That's it. Don't watch it. Just be like the clock and keep going. There's no rush. You can't rush 24 hours. 24 hours is 24 hours no matter how you look at it. Right? So remember that. Remember that I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what I'm going to do no matter what happens. This is what I'm going to do. And that's it. There's nothing that's going to make me be anything or try to force myself to be anything that I'm not. I'm just going to show up and do what I know how to do. Look, I can't make this up. Didn't I talk about this at the beginning? The gossip. Rumors, speculation, and slander. This is where you're out of balance, is focusing on that. Focusing on what's the tea. And again, it could be readings that you're watching. It could be that, you notice people are talking about you and you're asking people, what are they saying about me? And right now, Source is saying, like, don't focus on that. Don't focus on what other people have to say. People are going to talk. They're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And again, excuse the language, but this is the energy that Source wants you to begin to embody, because the more you focus on this, the more out of your head you get, or the more stuck in that mental drama, and the more you're like trying to change the things that you do, the more that you're trying to shift who you are. Is this like, I didn't do anything wrong to make these people gossip about me? No, of course you didn't. People are going to say what they're going to say, whether you do or you don't. It's not up to you to determine how another person shows up. And at the end of the day, whatever they got to say about you, that's not your business. That's their business. Let it be their business. And you got no energy trying to figure out how to make them stop, because you got to focus on your own journey. And that's really what Source is saying here, right? So just remember that. Stop wasting your energy and trying to stop gossiping. As far as you're concerned, and as far as the rest of us are concerned, if someone's gossiping about you, cool. Everything they're saying is true, because I just don't have the energy or the time to tell you it's not. Forgiving. Wow. They didn't mean to hurt you. You were holding on to it. Forgiving helps you get past it. And for you, Pile 1, I know we talk about in this journey that it's so important to forgive others, and it truly is. But before we focus on forgiving others, I feel like the main message here is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for staying as long as you did. Forgive yourself for not paying attention to the red flags. Forgive yourself for making excuses for them when you know you shouldn't have. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, resent and blame for yourself, forgive yourself. When you forgive yourself, then you'll have created space to forgive others. So focus on that first. And that's the shadow aspect that's coming out here. So let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. This came out when I used it on the daily dice. This is an amazing message. So we have Padre here with Father. And I'm going to read this one from the book. 17. Also, we have the blue energy here, which is all about connecting with our throat chakra, our truth. Okay, so it says Simón Bolívar, el Libertador. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but we have the Liberator. Is hailed as one of the greatest heroes of the South American independence movement and is considered the founding father of many countries. During his short life, he fought in over 100 battles against the Spaniards and helped liberate Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, Panama, Peru, and Venezuela, and worked to establish a union of independent Latin countries. When channeled, masculine energy can be a healthy and productive component of our individuation that aids us in accomplishing great things. Unbalanced, talking about being unbalanced here, it can turn into an exaggerated sense of male pride. This machismo has been long associated with Latinx men and has done much to injure the environment, women, and the LGBTQ+ community. Throughout Latinx countries, the gender equality gap is wide and aggression towards women is high. Look, and that's why I was saying, especially if you're a woman here, so it could be this is the father wound that's coming out. On our journey, there are times when our masculine energy is deficient. Not sure why I can't say that right now. And other times when we need to access it. The key is learning to understand what the situation calls for. And the assimilation or the assimilation is I choose to use my drive and ambition positively to support my independence and growth. How can you use your positive father energy to assert your autonomy in your speech and actions? Is there a positive father figure in your family or in your culture you can look to for leadership? And when it's in the reverse, it says, are you falling prey to antiquated patriarchal viewpoints that are holding you back from your independence? Look, and that's the thing, like, this is all about letting go of outside situations, outside things that are outside of our control, and focusing back on your power, right? Bringing that masculine power back to yourself, okay? And if you didn't catch it, this was a daily dice that I posted on the... let's see, the 19th. No, I'm sorry, the 18th. This should have been posted on the 18th, December 18th. So if you want to check that out, that one might have further messages for you as well, only if you feel called to that, okay? So this is what I see here for you. If you feel like this is your message, pile number 1, leave the little broken heart emoji down below and say, I choose to mend my heart by forgiving myself deeply, knowing that through that self-forgiveness, I will continue to blossom and to grow exponentially. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. You can even join as a member, and I would love to see you on membership. So if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. I'm sending you a big, big, big energetic hug, pile number one. Just remember, you are so amazing and so loved. I love you so much, and until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful rose quartz, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your healing message. So I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what is the healing message for pile number 2, source. What is the healing message that you have for pile number 2? Would you like to tell them, source? What is the healing message that you have today for pile number 2? Okay, so we've got the 11th house. We've got Neptune and Sagittarius energy. It's funny because Neptune came out in pile 1 too. So a lot of hidden things going on here. Just feel like you are networking them. It's been hard. You've had to do a lot of things by yourself, pile number 2. It's like you might have people in your circle, but it feels like there's just a lot that you've had to show up for by yourself without real support, without people being there for you. And I feel like regardless of that, like you're still always very bright-natured. Like you have a good spirit about you. You're always with a smile on your face. You're always super optimistic. You're a pretty free spirit. You like to explore the world, but I feel like maybe you're someone who's always given people the benefit of the doubt. Like you are someone that even if you see a red flag, you also are just like, well, they're human, like people mess up, like you. It's not necessarily people-pleasing, although it could very much have led to people-pleasing, or it might still lead to people-pleasing. I feel like this is like, someone could show you the worst aspect of themselves, and you are still such a kind-hearted person that you're like, it's okay, like, people have a dark side to them, and that's okay. Like, you have this very beautiful soul. You're like a sprite, like a fairy in human form. Like, I hope that makes sense, but it's just like this very like free, lighthearted, nothing ever is very serious for you. Even serious things, they're still like, you can get serious when you need to, but it's just like, it's not as big a deal as everybody makes it out to be. And you're really good at like transmuting that energy and translating, there we go, translating that energy to others too, where it's like when they're around you, they feel that way. But the minute they're not around you, it becomes the end of the world again. And I fear that that has led to situations where people have made you feel bad. They've made you feel guilty. They've made you feel like it was your fault, like you should have done more for them. And there's also this healing that's coming in. I love that Neptune came in your dice reading, because Neptune also points at soul healing, subconscious healing, the purging of what was once hidden. And we see that now, but I do feel like that's kind of this story as to connecting with others has been very difficult for you, because at some point it feels like no one understands you, because they only understand you when they've got something going on. But other than if they don't have something harsh that's going on, or something that's awful that's going on, like you just kind of aren't even a thought in their mind. And so people only come to you when they need something from you, and it gets old. It gets really old after a while, and it gets frustrating, and it has put you in a position where now I feel like you're not even trying to connect. in a community setting. Even though you network, it's just like, I network for the purpose of networking. Like, I don't network for the purpose of connecting with people who are actually going to connect with me, because there's always like this underlying belief that what's the point of connecting when they're just going to start coming to me when they need something. Like, that's what I don't want. And that's valid. Oh my gosh, that is so valid. Like, that is something that is, like, when people do that, it's just so frustrating. It's just like, I'm a person too, right? And you are a pile number two. Like, you're a person too. You have hurt and pain. And just because you're able to see things from a higher perspective doesn't mean that you don't have situations in life that also push you down into the depths. And you need someone to reach out and help you up too. But it's like, you're so used to helping yourself all the time. It's just like, why should I bother with others when it's me, and it'll always be me, and no one else is going to reach down and see me, because it's like, people just walk by me, they step on my hands, they step on my toes, they step on my legs, they step on my head, and it doesn't matter how much I cry or scream, it's like they still just ignore me. But it's like, the minute that you see someone that's down and out, you're the first person to reach out a hand. And that's why I feel like so many people latch on to you as well. It's rare. It's not as common as you would like to think. It's like, but it's the right thing. Wow, I heard that so loud. You just answered that, right? But it's the right thing. And it is. It is the right thing. But the right thing is sometimes the hardest thing to do for people, because they've been so jaded by it. And it's like, you're reaching a point where it feels like that too. But there's also that deep dissonance in your heart where it's like, I don't want to turn into that person that doesn't help, because it feels so natural to your soul. And it's like, when someone is helped by you and you see that and you see the good that it brings, it's almost like it fulfills you, and it's like filling up your cup, and it's a beautiful thing. But then there's all those other people who don't appreciate it, or there's all those other people you thought were going to be friends, and they just show up in this place of like manipulation, or, you know, again, using you for what you have, not seeing you as a person, seeing you as like a free therapist. Shoot, start charging for some sessions. I mean, honestly, you're allowed to. I'm just saying, pile two, like, I know you don't want to be a therapy, but, you know, I'm sorry, if people are going to use you like therapy, start charging and be like, hey, it's cool, I'll talk to you about that, but I charge $200 an hour. When they're like, what? I just be like, well, look, I just noticed you only ever come to me when you need something, or when you need someone to be an ear. And it's like, every time I come to you, it's funny how you're never around. Start calling people out. It's okay. You know, the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, doesn't make it wrong. Wow. I feel like Source is just trying to help you see, like, it's okay for you to put yourself first. It's okay. And I feel like that feels dangerous for you too, right? So I want to explain a little bit as I'm shuffling here. So I'm going to use my Tarot Marseille deck here to kind of get more in on what's going on with this situation. And then I'm going to use the Osho Zen as more like what comes with the healing and the advice that's coming with that. But I'm going to leave this open to Source. I want Source to really bring the messages that Source wants to bring to you, okay? So I'm not guiding it. That's why the message is a healing message. There's no like direct topic connected to that, okay? So it's just whatever is going to come through for you here. All right, so this card wants to come out. It just literally fell out of the deck. All right, Source. So what is the healing message for pile number 2? What would you like to tell them? What would you like to tell pile number 2, Source? Yeah, a change in perspective. Like the way you see things, the way you see others too. Like, I feel like for you, pile number 2, you're so good-natured that sometimes it's hard to see that, like, you see souls, you don't see people, right? Like, so when you see souls, you're seeing someone's true nature, the soul of who they are, which ultimately all of us come from Source. So you're seeing Source in everybody, which is such a breath of fresh air. It really is. It really is. And I want you to know that. But because we're not with Source, it's like we also have to develop our discernment so that we can see people and not just their soul. And I understand from personal experience, that is something that is so difficult to do. And especially when you just want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like, I keep coming back to that energy. It's like, you're just someone who gives people the benefit of the doubt. And that's a beautiful thing. It is. And I don't want you to lose that. But there's also a fine line that people will take advantage of. And so that's why it's so imperative for you to develop your discernment on a very keen level. So yeah, we've got the World in the reverse and the Hangman in the reverse in your reading already. This is something like a lot of people feel like they're entitled. Oof, they're entitled to your energy. So it's almost like people come into your life pretending to be your friend, and then it's like once they cross that threshold, they're like, I'm entitled to how you treat me, and I will always be entitled to that, and I will always deserve that from you. But it's like the minute that you can't give that to them, they're just like nowhere to be found, or they treat you like, again, making it seem like it was your fault. And they're misguided here. Yeah. Because they see you, look, they see you manifesting. They see you having good luck with a lot of different things. And it's like, well, why can't I have that good luck? I'm good too. Or I do this too. But it's like, look, for the amount of things that you've done for people, the love that you've given without expectation of love in return. And sometimes probably you have expected love in return. And don't ever feel like that's a bad thing. We do have to teach others how to treat us. And sometimes we have to expect them to show up on our level, because otherwise we'll just get bullied all the time. Okay, but don't ever lose that wanting to give without expectation. Like when you see someone down on the side of the road and you're like, I can help that person, even though it's a stranger. Like, you've done that enough, and you've done, and that's something that will always be rewarded. And that's what Source is showing here with the Magician. And we have the Sun in the reverse here. Yeah, and the Four of Cups, like emotionally being closed off because of this situation. And you have your emotions here on the table, but you're still like blocking them. It's like, I'd rather just focus on the material world and taking action in the material world, because that's easier than facing the thoughts and the emotions that come with the way that people have treated me. And there's a lot of burden to that, and there's a lot of instability when it comes to that. Let's see what we've got. Okay, we've got the Pope. Wow. Already we're getting mystery cards. Okay. And the Seven of Coins in the reverse. This is very telling. This is very, you're committed. You're committed with a cause. But ultimately, the feeling from the Seven of Coins in the reverse. The Seven of Coins in reverse is very simple. It's wanting approval from others. Okay. It's literally just doing things to get the approval of others. Okay. It's a very simple energy, but it's also very complicated, because it's like, well, I can already feel there's resistance there. I can already feel like I don't want other people to approve of me. And maybe you don't. And maybe you don't feel like you resonate with that. But if a part of your shadow self here with these two parts together, with these two cards together, and even with the World in reverse, a part of your shadow self is committed to doing things a certain way because of a fear of being rejected. And that comes from when you were young, probably between the ages of 7 and 12. And it really was implemented or cemented in your life when you turned 21, around that age. Like maybe you lost a really good friend, or like they judged you because you were different. And I feel like you also see the numbers 2112 or 1221 a lot. And that makes this a very, very resonant message with you as well. And it's just saying, it's like, we can believe that we don't believe something. And that sounds so counterintuitive, I know, but ultimately what's going on internally and the things that our emotional ego is latched onto sometimes elude our awareness. And so subconsciously we're believing something that we're consciously saying, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe. Have you ever seen people who say one thing, but they do the entire opposite? That's that exact same energy. It's like they're saying, oh, I would never break a promise, right? But then they go and they break a promise, and you're like, well, I thought you never broke a promise. Well, it's because some part of their shadow self accepts that I have to break a promise for whatever the reason is, right? But here we see that it has to do with commitment to self, commitment with others as well, with the Pope. So there's been a lot of issues here. And then we see, if you look at the Pope card, everybody's reaching out for a hand. Everybody's reaching out for assistance. Everybody wants what you have, because you're seen as this wise leader. You're seen as this person who has the ability to tap into source, who has the ability to tap into your intuition and give guidance that actually is worth a darn. And that's nothing to feel bad about. It's actually a beautiful gift that you have, but remembering that a gift like that is so easily taken advantage of. We see it's like people are even hiding to try and get something from you with this hand here hidden. And you could say it might be this person or this is a person here, but we're never really sure if this is, and this is when you read the books on these cards, right? You're never really sure if these are people or if this is just the chair or if this is a part of his outfit. Like, it's never really hinted at what they are. And that's why these cards are so different from the Rider-Waite-Smith, and then why they're intuitive. It's because it's what you're intuitively guided to. But to me right now, it looks like this is somebody that's hiding under the cloth, behind the scenes, still trying to reach out and get information from you, to get assistance from you on their journey. And you're not yet aware of it, or you have not yet noticed them there, because the focus is on whatever's in the future. It's like, I want to help people. I want to heal people. I want to have and share this connection with others. But it's also something that is derivative of this viewpoint of, I have to be approved by others in order to be accepted for this gift that I have. And that's what Source is saying here. It's like, no, that is not at all. Like, we gave you this gift because it's a gift to humanity from the highest divine, and you're the channel of that gift. But that doesn't mean that you were put here as a channel to just be willy-nilly whatever anybody wants you to be. And that sometimes it is okay to say no, and to, this sounds so mean, but to hurt people's feelings by saying no, to say like, look, I can't do that. I can't give you what you're looking for. I can't be what you're looking for. Because it's not your job to mold to someone else's expectations when you've already been given this divine perch in life, right? You have a mission that you have to fulfill, and your destiny is to follow Source's orders, right? Like, that's our destiny, is to connect with Source and to follow that mission and that purpose. And that mission and purpose is not aligned with everybody who wants you to transform yourself for their whims and their weird things that they got going on. Let's see what else comes out here. So Source, what is the healing message for pile number 2? Thank you. What is the healing message for pile number 2, Source? Yeah, the mind. This is all going on in the mind. This is the Page of Swords energy. Source, what is the healing energy, or what is the healing message for pile number 2? What is the healing message for pile number 2? Wow, okay. So I wasn't gonna, but they want me to take them. I'm not sure how they're gonna come out, but I'll put those there. And just remember, whenever we have this need to be approved by others, it is something that we're taught. It's not something that we inherently resonate with at our soul, but it's something that we're taught that our emotional ego resonates with. Okay? So we have the 7 of coins here, patience, right? Patience with others. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is your energy. This is such a beautiful depiction of your energy. Whether you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. Whatever you identify with, it does not matter. This is a beautiful depiction of your energy. Like, everything comes in cycles. You're just so serene. You're so patient. You're so accepting of so many things, right? Not a lot really upends you, but there are some things that do. But you're just patient with people. Like, when it comes to people, like, you're just super patient with people, and you give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Okay, and we have the 7 of coins coming out, clarifying the Pope, and we have the 7 of coins in the reverse here. We'll find out what's going on over here, but it's just interesting energy that it's like, this is why people are so attracted to you, because you don't judge others based on the choices that they make or based on what they do with their lives. Like, you're just non-judgmental person, and that's actually really rare, right? But we see it does cause a lot of dissonance in the mind. trying to find it. There's a lot of wheels that are turning here. There's a lot of smokestacks that are on fire, right? There's just a lot of illusions that are going on here. This not wanting to face the reality of the situation. You have this very high position, but you're also not responsible for everyone else. It's like you can only help those who want to help themselves. And it's not your job to help them. It's your job to be the channel. And that's it. To be the channel and then to let them figure it out. They will. You have to have faith in people, right? Like we have to have faith that people are going to figure it out on their own, because they will. Even if they get messages from you, at the end of the day, they're going to do with those messages what they will. Whether they like it, they hate it, they love it. They're just like, oh my gosh, you can't get enough of this. No matter what, at the end of the day, they're going to do with the message what they will. But as a channel, like you have to let them. You can't just be there and say, here's the message, but let me also hold your hand. Because that's what I feel like you were always taught to do growing up. Is like, oh, well, you have these great messages, but I own your energy. No one owns you. You own you, but no one owns you, pile 2. No one owns you. Oh, we have the Page of Coins here with adventure. Yeah, seeking new adventure. Maybe getting away from the place that you know, right? It could be too close to home. The closer we are to home, the less people believe us and the less people leave us alone. I wish it were different, but that's really just the pattern I've noticed along this journey and along helping people. Is the closer home you are, the harder it is for people to see your value and your worth, because they just feel like they're entitled to it. But we do see here there's a lot of blessings that surround you, and I feel like a lot of people are really trying to grasp onto you for your blessings. I felt that with the Magician as well. It's like, why does pile 2 get all these amazing things? Why does pile 2 get all this goodness? It's like, because you're a channel. It's not even about being special. It's like there's just a beautiful connection between you and Source and you and the spirit realm. And that connection alone opens up doorways to blessings and opportunities. But so many people get stuck in this type of energy all the time, right? And we see this still bothers you. We see that this is something that's still coming through. But it's not there 100% of the time, but it is something that comes up, that it's like when you face this neurotic need for approval, that's what we're talking about here, that I just got to be approved by others. You recognize that this is creating a lot of dissonance in your mind, and that's when you step up into this more lighthearted energy. Wow. And then we have the Queen of Swords here. And this is such a rigid card to me. Like, this card does not feel good at all from this deck. Like, there's just a lot of stormy nights here. There's a lot like aging, this energy of like everything weighing on you. And age has nothing to do with our number. It has everything to do with what we're carrying inside of our mind. But this feeling like locked in prison it's like I've put myself in a place of being in a prison because of this. And that's what Source is saying, like, let go of this rigidity. Okay. And you have morality, and it's like, but the moral thing to do, it's like, what did I say at the beginning? I even heard you. It's just the right thing to do. But don't let that belief of it being the right thing to do put you in circumstances that create this. It's the right thing to do, but not at the cost of yourself. Okay. And as a former people pleaser, trust me when I say I know that is something that is so hard to grasp onto. And it is. It's just because you want the best for everybody. And that's not a bad thing. When it becomes a bad thing is when that turns into a toxic trait itself, which invites in even more toxicity. Okay, you're trying to protect your inner child. You're trying to protect your innocence because you are a beautiful energy. Don't forget that you matter too, pile 2. Look, and we have transformation. This is the death card or the number 13 card or the nameless here. But we see this beautiful transformation here. You have so much power. You wield so much knowledge and information, and you help people transform on a deep level. Right now, instead of focusing on others, the focus is back on self. It's like letting yourself free yourself from the chains that I have to do the right thing no matter what. You can do the right thing while still taking care of yourself. And that's what you should start saying. Like, I'll do the right thing as long as I take care of myself first. And that sounds very scary, right? Because it's just like, oh my gosh, like I've never put myself first, or I have a hard time putting myself first. So like self-love is very difficult for me, but that's when true transformation comes, and that's when true leadership comes into play as well, because now people can see it's like, wow, you really do set up boundaries with people. Like you don't let people walk all over you. You don't let people just take advantage of you. Like you know what you're talking about, and you have to set that. No one else is going to set that for you. Like people aren't going to be like, oh, wow, pile two, like you've been getting walked all over. Maybe we should stop. No, people don't recognize those things. They just don't. We're not wired that way. And so that's what they're saying here is like, recognize when things aren't serving you. Recognize when things aren't working out for you. Always put yourself first, even if you have to break a promise. And I know that feels so uncomfortable. Like, it's like, but I promised this person and it's the right thing to do to show up for this person. But at the end of the day, if you're running on fumes and you going and seeing that person is going to put you in a bind, you got to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself, pile two. We have Leo energy, self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. We're not questioning whether you're a loyal person or not. We know that. We know that you're a super loyal person. We know that you're very creative, but we're trying to help you rebuild that self-confidence, that it's okay for you to take care of you too. Okay? All right. Thank you. We have snow leopard on the bottom. Look, take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. You give so much of yourself, pile two. It is so admirable. It really is. And I feel like you just need to hear that. Like, I need someone to acknowledge that what I'm doing actually matters. And it does. But look, when it doesn't make an impact on others is when you lose yourself. Okay? And you don't deserve to lose yourself at the cost of trying to lift others up. Like, that's not fair to you. That was never part of the deal. That's not what Source said, right? Like, Source wasn't like, I'm going to send you to Earth, pile two, and you're going to have to always put yourself on the back burner, and you never get to take care of yourself because I'm putting you in this terrible, unfair situation, and I never want you to see yourself as worthy. Source never said that. Like, that's not how it was designed. This, let Source take care of all that other stuff, but it's like Source said, look, take care of yourself, and you will become a channel far greater than you could have ever imagined, and that's the truth. We have Cat with intuition. Follow your intuition. I feel like you've been getting intuitively nudged to do things or to maybe draw away from certain things. And the more that you follow that, the more magnetic you'll be. But trusting that it's okay. Like, I can't give to you in this way. Like, trusting that that's okay. And on the bottom, look, kindness with fruit bat, flying fox. Look, be kind to the shadow self as well. Be kind to the internal darkness that resides within you. We have number 12 up here. Here's the thing, like, you're this very kind person, and people, when they talk to you, you see their darkness and you love it. You give that part of them love. It is addicting, pile two. When someone sees your darkness, it is the most addicting thing on the face of the planet, because it's like someone actually saw me and I don't have to try to convince them of who I am. They saw who I am and they loved me. Regardless, they showed me kindness. They showed me generosity. But now it's time for you to see that part of yourself and to show that part of yourself kindness, love, generosity, and care. Sometimes these things that Source asks us are a lot easier said than done. It just takes practice. It takes practice, okay? And remember, we're not trying to perfect anything here. We're just trying to become a better version, a more aligned version of ourselves. Look, we have the crow spirit here with co-create with spirit. Look, what did I say? Leave all that other stuff up to Source. Source has got you. Like, Source will help you. Like, Source isn't going to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you took time for yourself, pile two. I can't believe that you went and took a self-care bath for 3 hours today and you wasted all the hot water and you burned that beautiful candle and you used up all those bath bombs and man, now your skin's feeling so soft and you want to take this long nap now, or you want to go straight to bed and watch your favorite TV show. Source is like over there like, yes, finally, pile two. Like, finally, you're taking care of yourself. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others? Source is going to figure it out for you. Like, trust that Source has got your back. Source has got you. Right? And sometimes that's the hardest thing. It's like, how do I trust when I've never been able to trust anyone else? It's like, because Source is with you no matter what. At the end of the day, Source has got you. Okay, on the bottom here, we have the horse, the journey. Like, and it's interesting because this feels like Saturn energy. This has been a difficult journey, right? But you've done it, and you've done so much, and you found a sense of freedom and spirit as well, and you're running wild and free. But again, there's like this energy of light and dark. You ride in on the light, but you're covered in darkness, right? So it's about owning your own shadow too, owning those parts of yourself that maybe you have a hard time seeing. It's like, you know, again, I need the approval of others so that I feel satisfied. But do you really? Do you really need that? Or is that what your emotional ego thinks? Only you can answer that, right? It's not easy. The steps to get there are simple, but it doesn't make it easy. And just remember that no matter what comes through, it's okay. It's all right, right? It's not like if you're like, yeah, I do need that. It doesn't make you a bad person. If you're like, no, I don't need that. That doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you the best person either. It just makes you simply as you are. And that's okay. Because you can only be who you are, not what you aren't. Okay? So the shadow here, we have exposed. Wow. Fragile heart, too open, in danger of heartbreak. This is that I have to look to the outside world while I close myself off. The outside world has to make me feel like I belong, because if I actually showed my true colors, if I actually showed what's underneath the surface, what little is left would cease to exist. But you're already whole and complete, pile 2. You already have everything you need. Okay, it might feel like you're in danger of heartbreak. It might feel like if I'm open, I'm gonna wither away into nothing. But you're not. Okay? You're not the rose in the Beauty and the Beast. All right? You're beauty, and some of you might be the beast, and that's okay. It's just your journeys are different to getting to the end result. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's all about Disney stories, but that's really what I was feeling like here. It's like you're so busy trying to protect the rose that you're forgetting to live in the world. Right? And it's like, well, but I can live by giving people advice. I can live by giving people help. I can do these good things, and that comes back to me, makes me feel fulfilled. And that's all great. But it's also missing out on that connection with others. Like we said in the beginning, it was that I can't connect with others because they're just going to use me for whatever they can use me for. Right? You're so busy protecting the rose. Fear of being exposed. What if I actually showed my vulnerable self to somebody? But what if they rejected me? Then this person knows my vulnerable self, but they rejected me. Like, what's the point of that? So we have 4, organization, focus, discipline, clarity, structure, empowerment, problem solving. Stay focused on your life journey. Your angels want you free from distractions. Good organization empowers you to isolate and overcome the difficulties you've been facing. What steps can I take to better organize my life and stay focused on what truly matters? Today, set aside time to organize your thoughts, plans, or environment, allowing yourself to tackle challenges with clarity and purpose. So organizing your thoughts, organizing your space, organizing things in your life right now so that you are no longer distracted, can pull away and isolate for a little bit. Go into that hermit mode for a little bit. Guess what? Everybody will still be there when you get out. They will. They'll still be there when you get out. And they'll be okay. You need to come back to yourself. That's what this feeling is. It's like just coming back to yourself. All right. What else would you like to say for pile number 2, Source? Message of healing. Okay. Whoa. Message of healing. Thank you. We'll get one more. Message of healing. Or we'll get a grip more, I guess. Whatever, Source. Whatever. Says, give up the previous plan, release old patterns, embrace change, and clear the way for renewal. Yep. And this is, what do we say, that plan? We were just talking about that organize. Release the old plan, start something new. Okay, so let me stack up these ones. Like this. All right, let's see what we got going on here. We've got fusion with align, openness, harmonize, and collaboration. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. We have follow instructions, instigation, and faith, trusting in the process. Have faith that source has your back. Okay, and then we have letter, note, text message, invitation. So all of these really feel like connecting with others. Like, don't be afraid to text others. Don't be afraid to communicate with others. Don't be afraid to invite other people out. Like, it's okay. Just try it and see what happens. And have no expectations for how things should go. We have house 2, physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. All of these are tied to how you feel about yourself. We have rattlesnake. The experiences that you're presently going through are an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. Can we be more clear? Yeah, you are a healer. You're a channel. You're here to help people, of course, but not at the cost of yourself. And I feel like that's the main message here for you, pile 2. We have number 22 with truth transcends illusion with the dragonfly. Trusting in the process. Number 22 is a master number, and 2 is all about trusting in the process. Faith. Having faith in this process, okay? Ooh, we've got the dolphin with joy. You may have come from pile number 1. Okay, there's a couple of messages that came out that are very similar, but we have the joy. We're trying to bring this joy, this fun, this play back into your life. Okay, because it feels like there's just that disconnect from self. Let's find out what the shadow aspects are here. We have mechanical, going through the motions, checked out, routine. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then we have other lovers. Okay, still involved with the past, cheating, and secret affections. Okay, so maybe this is talking about reconnecting with people or connecting with too many people, right? Connecting with too many people and just knowing that it's just all about networking. It's not about having an actual connection. And they're saying here, like, that's that past energy coming in. That's that automation taking over, and it's time for you to let that go and to come back to this place of trusting that everything is working out in my favor and that the people who are meant to be in my life, they will come and they'll be here, right? Why do I feel at the field of dreams? If you build it, they will come. If you take care of yourself, you love yourself, and you put yourself first, then those that appreciate those things about you will come. We have 99 with rebirth, renewal, transformation, decision, future growth, new beginnings. This is a time of renewal and rebirth, indicating that you are close to a major decision that will shape your future. Embrace the transformation and prepare for the path ahead. What is one major decision I am facing, and how can I prepare myself to make this choice in alignment with my true self and future goals? Reflect on the area of your life that you are undergoing change and consider how these transformations can lead you to make significant choice that will positively impact your future. Bringing this to a close, right? All right. Fire, carnival, celebration, ceremony, that initiation process. We're burning away the old to make room for the new. Flexible, bend but not break, shift with grace, rebirth, shift with grace. Okay. Guard, defend, protect, guarantee, protect yourself. All right. Reject. This is this fear that's coming in. Negation, never, forbid, and taboo. It's like fear of rejection. Right? Protecting yourself, but we're not trying to hide from rejection. We're just understanding that rejection has nothing to do with us and more to do with the other person. And it's okay to be rejected. Some people are for me and others are not. And that's okay. Reflection, confession, prayer, and repentance. Reflecting on the fact that all things that are meant for you will come to you. Surprise, unexpectedly, another way and beyond imagination. Source is trying to bring you these blessings to help you connect with your joy again. We have chat, exchange of information, disclose information, and inquire. Again, coming through like you're meant to actually be open and unguarded with some people, right? Protect yourself from the people who only want you for what you have. But don't be afraid to share deeper parts of yourself with people who are willing to hear you out. They are out there. They do exist. Okay. And then we have blessings. Wow. Bendiciones. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this for you. This is very powerful. Oh my goodness. Didn't I just say that with the blessings? I was like, and the blessings can come in. I'm pretty sure I just said that with the joy card here, right? I was just mentioning that so that your blessings can come in. Blessings are an integral part of the Latinx language and culture. From the Andean high priests who performed despacho ceremonies or blessing rituals in the mountains to a layperson offering bendiciones when they answer the phone, part ways or close written correspondence, written, again, chat. Oh my gosh, I love this. Parents almost always verbally bless their children at the end of every call or visit. When they give them a kiss and then they do the cross on them and they tell them to go with God. Yeah, I've seen that so many times, but it's true. This practice is not associated with any particular reason, but with a desire to extend protection and good health to loved ones. This makes so much sense for you. We have the power to manifest abundance or scarcity depending on our mindset. When we incorporate bendiciones into our daily routines, we are choosing to acknowledge the boundless source of abundance and generously share it with others. So the assimilation or the assimilation is, I am grateful for this heartbeat, this breath, and this moment. I choose to see the abundance in life. Count your blessings. Train yourself to notice abundance around you and be open to receiving blessings. Practice making your first and last thoughts of the day thoughts of gratitude. And if it's in reverse, it's have you been focusing only on the negative or scarcity? Are you comparing yourself with others? Instead of focusing on what's missing, think about what you have right now. So bringing it back to this here and now moment, reconnecting with your truth, reconnecting with the blessings that you currently have in your life. Okay? This is a very powerful message for you, pile number 2. I absolutely love this. And if you felt like this was your reading, leave the little rainbow emoji down below and say, open my eyes and see all the blessings and opportunities that stand in front of me in this here, now here moment, knowing that I am on the path to attracting my highest good and soul tribe. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. You can even become a member of the channel. I would love to see you on membership, so if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, wow, hiccup, and my guides for coming together to give us this beautiful message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful zebra jasper, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your healing message. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. Truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what are your healing messages from pile number 3, source. What are the healing messages for pile number 3 today? Would you like to let them know? What are the healing messages that you have today for pile number 3, source? Okay, so we've got the 11th house, Aquarius energy, and Mercury coming in. A lot of air energy right here. By being in the mind. Overthinking things. That's what I just heard really loud. Not letting our overthinking get the better of us. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to turn on the top light, 'cause it's just a tad bit dark right now. Let me see. Will that fix it? Okay. So, yeah, there's just this energy right now of really being stuck in the mind. And it could have to do with something that you're doing online, or trying to gain a following online, trying to manifest your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your gifts, like your psychic gifts, and getting a following or getting recognized for something. There's like a fear or an anxiety that's being made present here. And the energy is to detach from the outcome, right? And not worry about what will come to pass, but just know that what's meant for you will come when it's meant to come. And I know sometimes that is so much easier said than done, right? Like, of course, what's meant for me will come when it comes, but holy crap, I've been waiting on this for a really long time. Like, why can't it come right now? Like, why do I have to keep waiting for it? Why do I have to keep putting myself on the back burner? But there's this energy of just not letting your mind get the best of you, because I feel like your mind has a tendency to have severe doubts, and those doubts, it vocalizes them incredibly loudly, and it convinces you that no matter how hard you're going to work, that things aren't going to work out for the better for you. But you also are someone who has a tendency to just believe blindly, which is good as well. But it does feel like this is something from the shadow side of you coming through. It's like you're seeing with your eyes, and you're seeing that it's not here yet, and so your mind goes off on a tangent. It's like, but it's not here yet, we're never going to get it. Oh my gosh, like things aren't going to work out. Like, what do? I should just go and try something else, or I should just give up on this. And it just feels like there's this energy of coming back and detaching from the outcome and just holding on to your patience. And there's some resistance there. I can feel it. There's definitely a sense of resistance to that. It's like, I've been patient for so long. But the key here is to not be patiently waiting. And it sounds like a conundrum, right? Like, it's like, but, well, what's the purpose of patience if I'm not patiently waiting? But it's being patient knowing that it's already yours, right? So you're not waiting on it because you are acting as though it already exists in your energy field, and that's the key here. And so you're getting out of this waiting energy, because the waiting energy is what's tripping you up, and that's tripping your mind up. And it feels like when you get out of that sense of waiting, like it's like you're facing the emotional ego, and you're like, but we're not waiting for anything because I already have everything that I desire. And the emotional ego is like confused by that. Like, wait a second. But do we? And then you're like, yeah, I do. And you act like you already have it. And then your mind can't argue with you anymore. That's what this feels like, though. It just feels like an arguing of the mind. It's all 4:44 on the clock. So you might see 4:44 a lot, finding strength, structure, and stability in our spirit rather than in our mind. I do feel like there's just a sense of really overthinking things at times. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if when you were younger, people called you a worrywart, or they were like, why do you always think about all the outcomes? And you're like, because that feels safe to me. And so getting out of that pattern it's difficult, right? Because it's something that you've practiced and mastered, and it's become a habit and a reaction more than anything else. And so becoming aware of that is the first step here. But we're going to see what comes out with the tarot. So like I said, on the other two piles, if you are coming from those two piles, leave a purple heart down below. The purple heart is always for those of you that spend the entire reading with me. And just say I made it. I know what that means. So that's the Purple Heart Club. But also, if you haven't and you're here for just pile number 3, which is perfectly fine, you never have to watch more than one reading. I'm just going to say, I'm going to use the Tarot Marseille, and the Tarot Marseille is going to give us a picture of kind of what this is that's creating this dissonance. And then we're going to use the Osho Zen as more of the healing advice. And so I'm not directing Source. I want Source to bring in the energy that Source wants to bring in, okay? So that's why it is your healing message. But Source is going to take that and run with it, and that's that, okay? So, Source, what is the healing message that we have for pile number 3? What more would you like them to know today? What is the healing message that you have for pile number 3? What would you like them to know today? Okay, so just feel like there might be someone in your energy that has a problem with authority, that's very nosy about what you're doing, is always trying to keep an eye on you. Okay, interesting. That might be why it's like you're like, I'm sick and tired of waiting because I'm always dealing with this person or this type of person or this type of energy. And it's creating a feeling of like not wanting to face the reality. And it's like, I really just want to move on from the negativity and get out of here. Like, that's a really, really strong message coming through here. But let's see. Source, what is the healing message you have for pile number 3? Thank you. Okay. Source, what is the healing message that you have today for pile number 3? Yeah, unclear. All right. Source, what is the healing message that you have? Wow, that came out so fast. All right. Yeah, and on the bottom we have the King of Wands in the reverse. So we're seeing here is this self-sabotage, right? This is self-sabotage. The mind is our greatest enemy, but it can also be our greatest ally. And so we see it's sabotaging us from celebrating the small things, the things that we already have, and the things that we've already manifested. And, oof, yeah, okay. So with the Empress and the Pope, both in the reverse, is talking about that because it's not the way that society says. So this is like looking at this is just the example they're giving me. Like if you're starting a business and you're trying to build clientele and it's like you have one major client that keeps showing up no matter what. They're always showing up and this is like the only client that you're making money from. And you're like, but I need more clients so that I can actually maintain this business. Right, but this one client is getting so much help from you and they just appreciate everything that you do. They keep coming back. But the mind is saying, but I don't have enough clients. And you're not celebrating that one client because it doesn't look like when you go to a daily job where you go and I work for this many hours and I get this much pay for this many hours. It's not the general idea of how things work out. And so your mind starts going down this rabbit hole of like, well, things aren't working out. Like I'm not getting enough, or I don't have enough, or I'm not manifesting enough, or I'm not doing this. And what Source is saying is like the self-sabotage is coming in because you're not focused on the positive, is that you have this one client that keeps coming back to you no matter what. Just because it's that way for a little while doesn't mean it's going to be that way for all time. But the mind doesn't see it that way. The mind gets stuck in its patterns and it believes that what I'm seeing is reality instead of what I'm learning to believe is becoming my reality. And so we just have to remind gently the mind, right? We have to remind it gently that it's not in control, that we are, and that we'll bring it back to our positive selves. But see, it's something that's scary because it's like, I don't want to rock this boat. And it's something that's you're having a hard time healing from. And it feels like I'm always taking 3 steps forward and 10 steps back. And we see this as like, I don't want to change. I'm scared to change because of changing. It's like, this is how I know things to work. I have to work my butt off and then I'll get rewarded. And it's like, we're in the business now of working smarter, not harder. And I know that's so much easier said than done, but it's just about being that honest energy with yourself again. Saying that mind is not in control. It's getting getting control over the mind. And we're not saying we don't want to have thoughts, right? Because it's impossible for us to eradicate thoughts from our mind. But what we want to do, pile number 3, is to become completely aware of what's going on at all times of the day. Like if you start feeling icky, what is it that you're thinking about? If you start feeling anxious, what is it that you're thinking about? It's just asking yourself these things. What was I thinking about just now? Like what was on my mind when I started to feel ungrounded or started to feel gross or started to feel like things aren't going to work out? What is going on in my mind? And let that come out so that you can begin to face that part of yourself, right? And we have the 6 of Coins here in the upright. So it's like Source is trying to send you somebody to help you with this. Source is sending you an ally with the 6 of Coins here. It's like Source is trying to help you with someone to help you celebrate the wins, the things that you've gone through. But I feel like there's just this fear that's coming in with the Ace of Swords here. It's like the mind has been in control for so long. It's just going to take time and patience to get through there. And again, we're saying like patiently waiting. We're not patiently waiting. I'm just having patience as things sort themselves out. That's it. It's already mine. It's already happened. I'm just patient as it happens. That's it. It's not waiting for it. Okay. And I know it feels like a conundrum, but that's what they're saying. It's like just coming into this place and trusting that there is someone here that's coming. There's someone here that's going to equally give and take to you. I feel like this is someone who's going to show up first, and it's going to surprise you. And you're going to be like, wait, holy crap. Like, I wasn't expecting that. But they're going to help you see that maybe it's hard for you to focus on the things that you have in life that are worth celebrating, that are worth building on, because of this self-sabotage energy, where sometimes you might get impulsive or take risks that are unnecessary, and where it's like just things aren't what society has always told me it had to be, or what I was conditioned to believe it to be, because it's not. The route that you're taking, especially if it's a spiritual one, is never ever a straight line, right? And so it feels like this is the thing, like it's actually not as negative as you would think, because it's just showing that the main focus here is the mind. We have all this air energy, we have Aquarius energy, and we do have Virgo and Gemini with Mercury, okay? But that's still a lot of air energy coming through here. We have the sword, the Ace of Swords in the reverse at the center of the reading, showing again the mind is what we're focused on. The Ace of Swords showing a lack of clarity in the mind. Okay, lack of seeing, a lack of believing what it is that you're trying to manifest in. Okay, this equal give and take, this someone being there for you, someone helping you build some sort of wealth, someone who sees you. And there's just this fear that's coming behind it, this fear that, oh, it's not going to work out for me. And Source is saying, like, don't deny the blessings that I'm bringing to you, because the mind has been running free. We have to settle the monkey mind and take a deep breath and bring ourselves back down to this world. Bring ourselves back down to the ground, right? Like, grounding ourselves is so important. I feel like for you, especially pile number 3, you may have come from another pile as well. And this is just implementing that message again, is that grounding is so vital for you. We see here you're very emotionally sound. We see that you've got your emotions under check. We do see that you are manifesting things, but there's also the mind that just kind of runs a little bit crazy here. It's like you were easy to focus on your material world, but sometimes you take kind of weird action based on the mindset that you have in each day, and that's okay. No one's over here like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Like, I can't believe you took that action or anything like that. It's just when you become aware, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I did this thing over here and that really didn't serve me the way that I thought that it was going to. Or like, oh my gosh, like I did this over here when I really should have pivoted and gone that way. And it's interesting because this has 3 wicks in it, this candle, and one of the wicks just went out, just one. So it's like feeling like, oh my gosh, like I lost a part of myself, but you really haven't. You really haven't. It's just redirecting yourself to what matters, okay? And so that's what Source is saying. Like, it's just right now the focus needs to be on clearing the mind and finding silence within the mind and stillness within the mind. So the mind has just kind of been going all over the place here lately. And that's where the self-sabotage is coming from. And a lack of confidence, I feel, too, in your abilities and your gifts and in whatever it is that you're trying to build. Like, trust that you've been given this inspiration for purpose, that you're the only one that can carry it out the way that you will carry it out. And that is valuable in and of itself, pile 3. So let's get some of the Osho Zen out and see what comes through. So Source, can you please tell us what the healing message is for pile number 3? Yeah, look, we've got the devil coming out here with conditioning. Right? You've been conditioned to believe that you're not strong enough to carry what you need to carry. This is like, okay, the lion in sheep's skin, like a lion doesn't belong in this whole herd of sheep at all. Right? The lion is actually a predator to the sheep. Like it's different. It doesn't belong there. And that's the thing. It's like you don't belong in this mindset of being one with the many. Right? You deserve to stand out, to be unique. Your conditioning is saying like, oh, I have to blend in. It has to be a certain way. So I have to fit in no matter how awkward it feels. It's like forcing yourself to fit in until it becomes comfortable, but it's not ever comfortable because you've just become uncomfortably comfortable. I need a drink of water. 1 second. Oh my goodness. A lot of talking today. And so now it's time for you to shed this sheepskin and let yourself be the lion that you are. Let yourself be seen. And it's the number 15 card. And if we break down 15, that's 6. And so we have 6 and 6 here. And 6 is the number of finding balance, resolution, a solution, seeing yourself from the eyes of source, seeing yourself from the eyes of unconditional love, recognizing that you deserve to be seen no matter how different you might be. There's a purpose that you were designed the way that you were. Because no one else will ever be you in this life, and there will never be another you in all of existence. And there has never been a you, pile 3, in all of existence. So we all want to be special, but we never stop to think about that for just a second. We're already special because that's it. This is the one life that you will be you, as you are. Why would you want to spend it being someone else or trying to fit into someone else's mold? It just doesn't work. And so that's what this is feeling like. It's like letting down that guard and saying that I have a right to do things differently. And maybe I only have one client right now, but things are working out for me. I'm going to celebrate that client. I'm going to be there for that client. I'm going to give them 100% of what I have right now because they're the reason I'm where I'm at. Or this could be just you have a certain customers that are coming back, or you have certain, whatever it is that you're trying to build here. Okay. Friends, family, loved ones. It's celebrating the small things and knowing that that's the beauty of it. So source, what is the healing message you have for pile number 3? Okay. So we've got the Fool and the inner voice, which is the Popess, or what you might know as the High Priestess from the Rider-Waite-Smith. Interesting, the inner voice. Take a chance. Take a risk. Like this energy, the Ace of Swords energy has been holding you back from free falling. I'm free falling. Right? I don't know who sings that song, but that was coming in. I think it's from the movie Jerry Maguire, too. Oh, Lord. Show me the money! Okay, anyways, back to what we were talking about. It's about taking that risk and letting yourself fall into Source's trusting arms and knowing that even though it's scary and even though your mind has tried relentlessly to convince you that that risk is not worth it, with the Fool showing up, we see it is. It is worth it. Just close your eyes and go. Go with the flow. See what happens. Right? See what comes about. You never know. You might be pleasantly surprised along the way. In fact, I could probably guarantee you'll be surprised. But it's like, don't let your conditioning hold you back. And don't even let past situations be the reason that you stop taking a risk in the here and now. It's just like, the past is the past. Like, you were a totally different person yesterday than you are today. Right? And so it's like, even though the past was what it was, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the way it is now. And so it's like trusting that this is all happening for purpose and that I get to take this journey. And it's just like being stuck between conditioning and your intuition. And that's really what this feels like here with inner voice and conditioning coming out in this sequence. It's like I'm stuck between the conditioning I grew up in, the beliefs I grew up in, and I'm trying to take this risk so that I can trust my intuition. But I'm also stuck with my intuition. Like, I know it's trying to push me. I know it's trying to help me move to a higher place. I know it's trying to remind me of all the good in my life. It's trying to help me trust in this process. But there's just kind of like this, I'm walking on a double-edged sword. That's the feeling of it, which is also symbolic because this is a double-edged. It's a broadsword, I believe, and it's a double-edged sword. And so it's like feeling like no matter which way I take, there's still an element of fear to it. And Source is saying, like, even indecision is still a decision. So even if you decide not to do anything, you're still deciding on something, and something will happen based on that decision. So it's like you can choose not to do anything, and that's fine. Like there's no right or wrong choice here for you, pile 3. You have to choose what's right for you. But staying in this place of being stuck, just know that's going to kind of put you in a place where you get ping-ponged about, and suddenly it's like, well, I didn't want this to happen. But then we can't really be mad with our decision, can we? Because we didn't choose to do anything. And so that's what Source is trying to help you see. It's like you don't have to be a victim of your conditioning or of your self-sabotage, which has been happening for a long time. You are your own worst enemy, but that also means that you can be your greatest ally. And I feel like this is an affirmation that I've come across while doing yoga along the way, and I feel like you would benefit from saying it, is saying, my inner voices are my ally. And that's reminding you that listening to your intuition will help you get to where you're going, and trusting that gut feeling that you're getting, okay? And that helps, it's like reconnecting with your third eye, reconnecting with your crown chakra, so the Sahasrara or the Ajna chakra. Like being able to connect with these will help you ground yourself in trusting that there is a greater plan here, that Source has a plan for you. And on the bottom, we have the Temperance card, or integration here. See, it's like what goes around comes around. Anytime Ouroboros shows up, that's really that feeling of what's going around comes around. It's a never-ending cycle, and it's just going to happen. Like there is no right or wrong here. It's just, this is what's happening right now. But it doesn't mean that you can't make a choice and choose to show up differently. It's about blending the opposites here, knowing that there is good and there is shadow, or there is light and there is shadow in all aspects of life, right? One is not complete without the other. So it's like understanding that this conditioning, or this shadow, if you will, because it's a devil energy, this is still a part of you, but it's still a part of what makes you the whole complete person that you are. And knowing that you can choose right now, are you in a place of receptivity? Or are you in a place of action? You're in a place of healing. You're in this place of blending together these opposites. You're in a place of understanding that through this process, I am finding balance between the masculine and the feminine energies, right? And you can look at it that way. The devil can be seen as a very masculine energy. It's also it's related to overworking, right? It can be someone who is a workaholic. It can be someone who works very, very hard. It's connected with Saturn and Capricorn energy as well. And so it's that very masculine energy. Then you have the Popess here, which is connected with Cancer and Pisces energy. When we look at Cancer energy, we see that Cancer is ruled by the Ajna chakra, and we see that it is also the mother of the zodiac, right? Capricorn is the father of the zodiac. You have Cancer as the mother of the zodiac. So if we just look at those two base things here, we see it's a blending of these opposites, but still this fear coming from, I can only be one or the other, which is not true, because both exist within you, which we see here with integration. And underneath that, we have the Ace of Wands with Source, the Source. And it's like Source is trying to bring down this inspirational fire into your soul to kind of give you that kickstart that it's okay for you to take that next step. It's okay for you to go towards what you desire. It's okay to see things from a childlike perspective. It's okay for you to know that what you've asked for is already on its way to you. You don't have to be in this place of continuing to wait any longer, because it's already yours to begin with. So let's get some more information out through the oracles. Oh, we have another one down. We're down to one. We're down to one flame burning in there. So we've got Neptune on the bottom. Dream and transcend, seeing beyond the illusions. It's okay for you to dream big. It's okay for you to transcend those illusions. It's okay for you to overcome and not feel like you're doing anybody, a disservice, because you're not. You being you is the greatest thing you can do for the world. All right. I just feel like you just need someone in your energy that reminds you, like, it's okay for us to celebrate the small things. Like, hey, we were able to show up today. Let's celebrate that. Like, let's make that a big deal, right? We have Boar on the bottom with Pig. Face your problems head on with confidence and courage, and you will emerge victorious. And boars are scary. Okay, boars are scary. I don't know if any of you have ever hunted or anything like that, but boars are scary. When they get mad, they are relentless. Okay, and they face anything head on, and they are not afraid of anything either. And so it's like, charge in and take care of what you need to take care of. Take that risk. Charge in and take that risk, whatever the risk may be. It is scary. You might get rejected. You might get declined. Things might fall through. All of those things are a possibility. But you know what else is a possibility? You might get accepted. You might be all of a sudden going on a date. You might all of a sudden have the best opportunity of your life. It's easy to look at the negative, sure. But also, without darkness, there is no light. Without light, there is no shadow. And we see that here absolutely beautifully depicted in this card. You have the sun on this side, the moon on this side. You have the eagle and the swan. You have the yin and the yang here. Okay, it's like all a part of the cycle. It's like all part of one. You have a man's face here and a woman's face here blended together. Can you see that? So it's like, it's okay if you want to focus on the darkness. It's okay if you want to focus on the shadow. But how good is it if all you do is focus on the shadow and forget that the light also exists within this? Number 22, trusting the process. We have learning with Sacred Ibis here. The doors are opening for you. There are new doors opening for you everywhere, and you're learning. It's just a process. We have 222 coming out for you, 2 being the number of trusting the process. So again, it's just all a part of the journey for you right now. Yes, I love that we got moth. We got the moth spirit with surrender now. Okay? Surrendering to this, surrendering to the darkness, right? And moths are all about the night. So there's something here about the shadow that is actually keeping you from moving forward. And so maybe doing some shadow work would be very beneficial to you at this time. And I already heard someone, I've done so much shadow work, I'm so sick of it. And I understand that, but there's something with your shadow that's like on the precipice of being brought forth into your conscious mind. And so there's a need for you to sit with that and find out what it's bringing you. Like we have the bee spirit on the bottom, we have the sun, the daytime bug right here, right? With the sweet results await. So exactly, it's like if you surrender now, you're going to see good things happen. If you let go, you're going to see things happen. If you give chance to risk, you're going to see things happen. Okay, good things are meant to come to you, pile 3, and it's just all about how you choose to look at it. And I know it's always easier said than done. We have the snake with transformation. I cannot look at this card. We have the night on one side and the day on the other side. Tell me this is not a perfect mirrored aspect of this card as well, right? So this is all about accepting both the light and the dark aspect of life, of yourself, of the journey. Okay, and I feel like that's just maybe been something that's been really difficult, right? We have a lot of air energy here. That's a lot of masculine energy. It's all about disconnecting from what it has to be, what you expect it to be, and opening up to what it could be, which I know is so much easier said than done too, but there's power in that when you're just like, I just know the best results are coming to me. The shadow aspect here. Okay, so we have other lovers still involved with the past, cheating and secret affection. So one of the shadow aspects that's coming out here is that there's a past energy that keeps at play here. It's coming in, it's making its move, and it's keeps trying to come in, and it's worried about losing you, or you're worried about losing it. It's like, just surrender it. Just let it go. It's okay. Like we have forgiving. They didn't mean to hurt you, but you were holding on to it. And forgiving helps you get past it. Okay, so the other thing is to forgive. Forgive and let go. And I feel like, these 2 cards came out in another pile, so you could absolutely be here from another pile. But I was saying in the other pile, and I feel like that's very important here too, forgiving. We talk so much about forgiving others, and that is absolutely a beautiful part of the spiritual journey and the transformation that we go on. But I feel like it's especially important for you, pile 3, to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for these past situations, for being involved in them, for holding on for too long, for overstaying your welcome, whatever it is, forgive yourself and remind yourself that I was just doing the best that I could with what I knew how to do in that moment. And in that self-forgiveness, that's when we begin to make space to be able to forgive others. Let's not focus on others right now, though, because we need to focus on self-forgiveness. And I feel like that's what's so important here. And so that's going to help you out exponentially. All right, let's get an angel number for this reading source. It's the angel number for pile number 3. Healing message for pile number 3. Thank you. They want this one too. No one else got 2. I won't tell if you don't. We have 404 on the bottom with mind energy. Yeah, definitely could have come from another pile. Again, if you were only called to 1, that's okay. You never have to watch more than 1 if you're ever, you know, wondering about that. So it just means that this one was for you and the other one had other messages for someone else, and that's fine. Focus, determination, preparation, mental strength, clarity, resolve, future readiness. Prepare your mind for future challenges. Mental strength and focus will help you overcome obstacles with determination and hard work. What mental habits do I need to strengthen in order to be fully prepared for future challenges? It says set aside time each day for mindfulness or mental exercises that can improve your focus and clarity. Visualize yourself successfully overcoming future obstacles. Right? And what did I say this whole reading? We've been talking about it being stuck in the mind, and we've got the mind energy card coming out. So let's get some from the answer oracle here. Source, what healing messages do you have for pile number 3? Yeah. Okay, what healing messages do you have for pile number 3? Okay, healing messages do you have for pile number 3? Okay, wow. Healing messages do you have for pile number 3? Okay, there's a pretty clear message. They're all flipping over, and so I'm seeing them. I know they're off camera right now, or some of them are anyways, and the light, you can't see it. But some of them are pretty clear about having a date, being with somebody. I feel like you need 2 more. Yeah, 1 more source. Okay, thank you. On the bottom here we have anniversary, birthday, holiday, important day. Okay, so there's some sort of anniversary that's coming up that's really important. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I guess we'll just go this way. So flirt, we had flirt come out with love, seduce, lover, and lust. So this could have to do with a past partner who did you dirty, and it's just, I don't want to take any risks because I was so hurt in the past, and that's where the self-sabotage is coming from. And that's part of the shadow of us, right? Because it's like honoring that, wow, I was really betrayed in the past. And, you know, that's that forgiving energy as well. It's like saying like, look, and starting over came out underneath that. It says ending it and moving on, trying again. The X is back. And then we have the dark side. With your dark side keeps you from enjoying the love you have. Don't let it steal your joy. So these are perfect examples of exactly what I was feeling. It's like it's the shadow side that's winning here. It's like saying, oh, but we've been hurt in the past, like everybody's gonna hurt us, like no one's gonna love me the way that I deserve to be loved. It's like that overthinking energy is coming in, and so it's like getting in this mind. It's like, well, okay, so I can go and I can talk to people, but I can't really connect with people because, oh my gosh, like what if they hurt me in that way? And we see eternity here with immortality, frozen, infinity, and curse. And that's what it feels like. It's like being frozen by this curse of the mind, and not seeing that you're this infinite being and that everything has its time and place, and that you've learned so much from the past that you're not going to relive the past over again. Even if cycles like that come back into your life, you're showing up as an entirely different being. And to give yourself credit for that, right? Celebrating those small wins, like, wow, I really am a different person, and I deserve to see that, and I deserve to give myself credit for that. So we have sunset here with decline, fade, and aging. And I feel like it's easier to decline a connection with someone than it is to get yourself involved with someone for fear of hurt, right? But we have dating, connections, romance, and love. Like, it's like, I feel like there's a lot of people who do want to date you. There's a lot of people who are very interested in you, pile 3, who wouldn't be. You have an amazing energy, right? And I feel like the thing is seeing yourself as that amazing person has been very challenging, because everybody in the past has XYZ, right? But that was the past. That was the past, and you didn't know any better. And that's why it's so important for you to forgive yourself. Okay? And that's the thing, is like in forgiving yourself, you begin to make space to forgive the situations. And when you forgive the situations, that makes space to potentially forgive those people. And when you forgive those people, then you relinquish the hold that it has on your life and keeping you from experiencing the peace and joy that you want to experience right now. We have determination. Go all out. Struggle desperately in belief in victory. This is you. You're this little daisy in the midst of asphalt growing. Like you're growing even though the circumstances don't offer you nurturing. Like, this is it. And it's like, and that's why it's hard for you to give yourself to others, because it's like, I've only ever known barren roads and scarcity, and I've never had someone pour into me the way that I poured into others. And that's why it's like, it's almost become a fear of, what if someone actually does pour into you? And sometimes we fear our own success, and we might not realize that, right? We might not realize that we're fearing success, but that could be something that you fear now because you identify with the scarcity on some level, right? Some level, your shadow self is like, this is who I am, is living in scarcity and only knowing scarcity and only knowing no one being there for me and yada, yada, yada. And your soul is like, it's time for us to connect with someone who's going to pour into us. And that's scary, right? That's so scary. But it's like, no, but then what happens to the ego part of me that's been identifying with scarcity? Well, it's going to have a death and a rebirth. We have different road, future, choice, and destiny. You get to choose your destiny. We have book here, wisdom, experience, immortality again, and authority. Okay? The knowledge you have is vast and incredible. And trusting yourself is so powerful right now. We have gratitude with thank you, appreciation, and cherish, or appreciate and cherish. Having gratitude for the good things in life right now. And then we have follow, with follow instructions, instigation, and faith. Okay, having faith that all is going to work out for you. Follow your intuition. Your intuition's been telling you things. It's just been really hard for you to trust that, right? Look, oh, I'm so glad that this came out. This is kind of like a bittersweet card for me, right? Because Chiron is not good energy. Like, it's not, but it's also incredibly powerful energy when we go through the lessons that it brings to us and we choose that healing and we choose to let go. But Chiron is all about the wounded healer, and it's all about just like a whole bunch of smoke just went up and the flame is still on. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. We're just going to go with it. A whole bunch of smoke. Yeah, there's smoke and mirrors. Right? There we go. It just went out now. Yeah, smoke and mirrors. So Chiron is a lot. It's a lot of us seeing through the illusions, seeing through the smoke and mirrors that's presented in front of us as our reality. And overcoming that and going through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering because of our attachments, and learning how to detach from that in a very healthy way, and then trusting that things are going to work out for us. And so it's the hurt and the heal. And we have this like two-sided, right? Seeing the cloudiness over here, we can't see clearly, and then seeing the universe behind this side. And so it's like letting go of the illusions and embracing the vastness of life that's before us. Okay, it's like you've survived everything that you've been through. You'll survive this too, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way because, like, holy crap, it's just been so hard and I've just been in survivor mode and I've just been going. But you've healed so much. And that's the thing that you need to focus on now, is not all the heartache that you've been through, but how far you've come and how much you've healed. We have elk, or wapiti, if I can say it. Stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with respect that you deserve. Exactly. So now's about you standing tall, like showing others how to treat you. Not hoping they'll treat you the way that you want to be treated, but teaching others how to treat you because you've come so far, pile 3. Look at this. We have the bull and sacrifice. And again, this idea, there's a lot going in on the mind, right? There's a lot of this lightning, a lot of this diversion, a lot of this distraction going on, but seeing that we're the ones behind it, we're the ones that are controlling it. And sometimes that's scary because we have to sacrifice that identity of us and come into a place of peace. And it's like, sometimes it's easier, you know, it's not like you're like this, but I'm just trying to paint the example so that you can understand sometimes how the mind works. It's like, you ever see people who are like, I hate drama, but no matter what happens, they always instigate drama. But they're always like, I hate drama, I can't stand drama, I don't want drama in my life. But every day their life is like a TV sitcom drama, and you're like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen today with that person, right? It's because they're not in control of the emotional ego within. It's like they might really believe that they hate drama, but a part of their soul is secretly in love with drama, which continues to manifest that in their life. And so it's like every time they say something, it's like everything outside of them goes against that. And I'm sure you've experienced that with certain things in your life as well. It's like I don't like this, but then you keep experiencing it. It's because we have to understand our shadow. What is it about my shadow that's continuing to manifest this in my life? So we have to have that shadow talk. We have to understand our shadow on an even deeper level. It's always going to be a process. It's not a destination. We're never going to get to the end of our shadow because there's so many things, and our mind is so intricate, and we're so multifaceted that there is no end to that, right? We're these infinite beings, and we're uncovering so many little things that became huge problems later on in our lives. Millions of little things that created huge discrepancies in our adulthood. And so it's not about having an end result, and it's just about understanding yourself better each day. That's all it is. That's all it is. We're not even really healing. It's just literally about understanding, why do I do the things that I do? And is there a way I can show up differently? And being curious about that and seeing what comes. We have the swordfish with focus. And I love that because the swords cards are connected to the mind as well. And so we have the swordfish coming out. And look, here she is sleeping peacefully in the water. Right? This is such a beautiful scene. It's like trusting that you're going to get to this peaceful state. It's all about cultivating that from within, but focusing right now on the things that you have overcome, right? It's not the past situations. It's just saying like, wow, like I don't just jump into a relationship anymore, or I don't just give everybody the benefit of the doubt anymore, or I don't just people please anymore. Like these are things that are worthy of celebrating because those are things that at one point may have got you into a lot of trouble. Wow, controlling, needs to be right all the time, possessive, jealous lover. This is one of the things that's the shadow aspect here. People who've wanted control over you, people who wanted to possess you, people who've wanted to keep you under wraps. That is also the societal construct at play, this controlling energy, right? And so we see that here. It's one of the things that you're facing is that you can be free and still have these connections with people. So we have 12-12 with choices. Decision, stability, caution, focus, future priorities, clarity. The universe advises you to act with caution. It is important not to pursue all your ideas at once. Instead, make a choice and focus on the option that will provide more stability for your future. What choices do I need to make now, and which option will offer the most stability and long-term benefit? Take time to evaluate your options carefully. List the potential benefits and risks of each choice and choose the one that aligns best with your long-term goals and provides the most stability. Okay, so it's time for you to do a pros and cons list about the risks involved, okay? And then you got two of these, and we have, yes, 504, 1 day at a time. Patience, present, progress, focus, daily effort, future, mindfulness. The effort you put in today is what will illuminate your future. Focus on doing the right things today and do not worry about what will happen tomorrow. Your daily efforts are building the foundation for tomorrow's success. What steps can I take today to progress towards my goal? And how can I stay focused on the present? Identify one key task or action you can take today that will move you closer to your goals. Concentrate on completing this task and trust that each step you take is building your path forward, one day at a time. So it's like really coming into this present place. And that's where healing is, right? Is focusing on this present moment. It's not being lost in the future or stuck in the past. It's literally about coming into this present moment. We have destiny, responsibility, road, and shackles, freeing yourself, choosing your destiny one day at a time with your choices. And speeding, surge, flow, and addiction, and letting go of this rushing things, trying to get somewhere, going in circles, going nowhere fast, right? There's no reason to be in such a hurry to get anywhere, right? Let it unfold the way that it's meant to. So we're going to take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. We have musica, or music. And this is very heart-centered for me. And it's all about finding joy in life as well, right? And I feel like you might get a lot of answers from music when you listen to it, and some downloads from source when you play music. And so to keep doing that. But let's see what this card says. It says, every country has its unique sounds defined by instruments developed from materials in their region. These are maracas, I believe. It says, in Trinidad, after the British Columbianists banned African slave descendants from playing drums, they resorted to new ways of making music by converting discarded oil drums and inventing the steel pan drum, which I love the sound that makes. Today, it is heard through the Caribbean in calypso music. In Peru and Bolivia, the unique sounds of the zampona or tarca, Andrean pan flutes made from reeds are easy to recognize. In Colombia, percussion instruments such as maracas made from coconut husks, or the guacharaca, made from the palm tree tusks, set the beat of the nation. We carry the rhythms of our culture within us, and they can remind us of who we are and where we came from. The song of our people is the song of our hearts, and if we forget it, we deny a part of ourselves. So the assimilation, or the assimilation, is, I will listen to the rhythm of my life. What is that song? Feel the rhythm of the moon, dancing in the morning light. Oh, who sings that? The rhythm of this, is it the rhythm of this life? The rhythm of this... If you know who sings that, would you comment that down in the comments? I truly appreciate those of you that do that for me. It really does help me, and it helps other viewers as well. You're so awesome. It says, feel the ancient human experience of song by making music a part of each day. Sing, listen, dance, watch a video, play an instrument, or keep the beat with your hands. And if it's in reverse, it says, have you forgotten to hear the music in life? The joy, right? And isn't it interesting, because when we listen to a new song, isn't that taking a risk? It's a simple risk because we can always turn it off, but it's still a risk nonetheless. And so I feel like it's just like looking at it as like, I'm just taking this small risks and seeing what happens and not being afraid of it anymore. Just trusting in the unknown, trusting in the process, and all things will come to you and they'll show you the way, okay? So this is what I see for you here, pile number 3. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little music notes emoji down below and say, I choose to open myself up to taking more risks one day at a time, knowing that trusting the process is helping me to unleash and free my soul. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box. You can email me for a personal reading. You can even follow, or you can even join as a member. And I would love to see you on membership. So if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredible message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.